The Enneagram is a model that helps us take a look at ourselves. What are the things that we do? What are the thoughts we have? What are the emotions we have? What are the instincts that we have that support our success, that support our lives? It also helps us look at what the hell's getting in our way, right? What are the barriers? What are the blind spots? So it requires a high degree of self-observation. It also requires a high degree of self-honesty. It's a model. It's a self-development model. It's a 9-pointed model. It describes 9 personality styles that have a distinctive way of thinking and feeling and acting. Structure of our ego. It is our character structure. It is the way that we are hardwired. And we can rewire, and the neuroscience and everything that's coming out is really teaching us that the first thing we need to do, if there's some areas in our life where we're stuck, is we need to identify what they are. The model describes a coping strategy that was developed probably pretty early in life to survive, right? And we all have to get along in the world. So we all take on a particular personality, a particular character structure that supports our survival in our holding environment. So these coping strategies are automatic, they're habituated responses. So self-observation, self-awareness and observation, must have it. Must have the ability to be aware of yourself and to observe yourself. Once we are aware of why we do what we do, and this is key. Once we're aware of why we do what we do, we have a shot at changing it. If not, it's not going to stick. We have to get down to that level. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the model. No one style on these 9 types, these 9 character structures. No one type is better than another, although there are some of the types that believe that they are. and then there's others that believe that they're not good enough, so you know, it kind of goes. We all have characteristics of all the styles. This is a map of the human condition. We all have characteristics of all the styles because we all have those experiences. But there's one style, one type, that's going to be key. That's the one you keep coming back to. There's an inner triangle in the model, the 3, the 6, and the 9. Head, heart, and body, right? Intellect, emotions, instinct. You'll see that there's arrows on the model. It's a complexity to our structure. So there's movement to it as well. In times of stress, we take on the characteristics of another style, the one that moves with the arrow. When life is grand, we take on the behaviors of another type, the one that goes against the arrow. So just in the spirit of self-disclosure, I'm a 6 on the model. So when I'm stressed out, I take on the characteristics of the 3. When life is grand, I take on the characteristics of the 9. Just knowing that was really helpful to me, because then all of a sudden I started having some self-awareness about, oh, my behavior's changing, it's hurried, it's like my pace has changed. Oh, stress, what do I need to do to calm down? Attention. You know, we talked about this before, intention, attention. This is a nice slice on this model to look at when we just show up in the world, where does our attention go? And for the one who's the perfectionist, guess what? It goes to what's correct. And if it's going to what's correct, what's it also going to? What's not correct, right? Where the flaws are, where the errors are. Now, we move over to the giver, and this makes sense. It's a relational type. The attention automatically goes to what someone else needs and taking care of someone else's needs. Now, if we're taking care of someone else's needs, what are we not doing? We're not paying attention to ourselves, right? We all have some of that. I think as women, we really have some of that. I probably have less of it than others. No, I'm kidding. The 3 is called the performer. Guess what you have to pay attention to perform? What needs to be done? The task and the goals. The 4 is called the romantic. And if you're a romantic, you pay attention to what's missing, what you long for, what you don't have. Right? So, as I go around there, you can sort of hear that I'm using emotional words here, right? I'm using relational words. The 5, what type is this? A head type? Back up into the head? It's observing. It's detached. It's watching. And not in a healthy way, because there is a really healthy component to self-observation, but this is in a really detached way. Like I'm not going to participate, I'm just going to stand back and I'm going to watch and I'm going to take the information in. So they're a little bit removed. The 6 is called the loyalist. That's my type. Attention can get riveted on what the danger is in a particular situation. That could be physical danger, that could be emotional danger, that could be all kinds of things. But it's what could mess up my security, my safety in any particular situation. Thinking, right? I'm thinking, I want to know, I want to figure it out, plan for the worst. Lovely, isn't it? The 7 thinking type is planning for options. What could go on? Well, let's see, what time is it? Where do we need to be? Where's the party afterwards? They're in the future and they're looking for where the options are. What options do they have? They don't want to be boxed in. So we went through the head types, the 5, the 6, the 7, thinking strategies, right? Now we go back up to the instinct. So the 8 is called the protector. The other name for this, and they changed because it was pretty reactive for some people, is called the boss. Right? And what does the boss want to know? Who's in control? Does someone have control of the situation? If nobody has control, there's automatically a void. And guess what? What happens when you think there has to be someone in control and no one has control? And you're comfortable with control.
You take control.
Take it. Right? So, we move back up to the 9, which is called the mediator. Instinctual type, body type. They want everybody to get along. They want peace, they want harmony. So if they're trying to create that, they have to pay attention to what everybody needs. Kind of a trap. And I think already you can start seeing that there's strengths styles, but there's also a trap to it as well. We have taken you on a very, very quick tour of a very fascinating model. And our hope is that you continue the study because it's the most powerful tool we've ever seen.
Especially in a leadership environment, you can see you have 9 very different styles, right? And their impact on others in a team and what is driving that behavior becomes revealed. And then as part of the conversation, dialogue.
We use it in our consulting practice. We use it in our personal lives. We don't see much of a difference between our consulting practice and our personal lives. We use it, a lot of folks that we work with use it in their organizations and help them become better leaders for not only themselves, but for the communities and for the organizations that we're in.